Nice.
Yeah. A little cooler temperatures, the crisp snap in the air. You've got your football. I've got my bird watching, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Are the birds more active around this time?
Was it a week ago? Stephanie was telling me that the birds are doing their migration.
Oh.
Tons of birds in the air, like millions doing their migration paths.
I was driving around yesterday. We went down to Mishawaka, do some shopping down there, and there was a lot of geese.
Canada geese,
Yeah. They were like, I thought it was like a gang because one of the stores down there closed, and I feel like that the goose gang moved in.
Oh, you thought it was a bird gang?
Yeah,
not just a gang of kids.
That's why I'm surprised about like the Orchards Mall. There hasn't been any sort of turf wars between the Canadian geese and the gulls.
Yeah.
The gulls versus the geese. That's like the Jets versus the Sharks, man. You don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that hasn't happened.
No,
yet.
No, not yet.
But we got a lot of things going on this morning. We are streaming live on our Facebook, YouTube, if you want to check out a little behind the scenes of everything that's going on. But we also have a lot of things going on in the news this morning. Let's find out what's happening. It's brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See gomichigan.com, Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg in the WSJM Newsroom. The Brandywine Community Schools Board of Education could order an investigation into the donation of $5,000 worth of books to the district by a nonprofit group. The group, called We Need Diverse Books, approved the school's application for donation after a teacher applied for it. However, at a meeting last night, school board president Thomas Payne said the application actually violates district policy because it was not approved by the superintendent or board before it was submitted.
I would recommend that we halt adding any of these additional books to the library, as well as remove the donated books from the library until an investigation is completed.
Payne said the district's attorney could conduct the investigation. Superintendent Travis Walker said some of the books have already arrived.
We actually have some materials, but they didn't make it to the shelves. So nothing from the grant has been added to the shelves. It is not in our library right now. We had them. They were not put on shelves yet. We were requesting more. I've asked for us to not request those until we sort this all out.
Social studies teacher Ablin Yankee sought the donation of the books after the board this year voted to suspend books deemed explicit from its libraries. Yankee told us last month her understanding was that the books could still be donated to the district. The Board of Education will seek an estimate from the district attorney on the cost of an investigation. It could hold a special meeting to vote on that investigation once an estimate is available. The Berrien County Health Department is telling everyone about the services offered at its sexual health clinic during this Sexual Health Awareness Month. Department Medical Director Rex Kabaltka tells us the clinic has locations in Benton Harbor and Niles and offers everything from STI testing and treatment to exams to birth control. He says not many people know that the clinic even exists.
Even area doctors sometimes are not aware that if the patients are having issues and they can't get them into the clinic, then they can have the patients call the Berrien County Health Department. We can do either walk-ins on Wednesdays 1 to 4, appointments Mondays and Thursdays between 9 and 4.
Kabaltka says diseases like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis have been on the rise in Berrien County for the last few years. He says it's not clear why, but one way to help prevent the illness from spreading is through communication.
It's very difficult to try to get control of the spread of these diseases if the partners are not talking to each other. And more often than not, unfortunately, it's the males, it's the men who will not tell their partners.
Kabaltka says communication between partners and your teenagers is key. Police and aviation officials are investigating a missing plane and pilot in southwest Michigan. WSJM's Andrew Green reports.
Authorities are looking for an 82-year-old man who went missing with his plane after taking off from the Dowagiac Municipal Airport on Sunday. The Dowagiac Department of Public Safety says police were called to the airport about 8:15 p.m. and told Richard Martin had departed the airport in his Martin's Sonex plane about 11 a.m. and never returned. They learned he often flies his plane for around an hour or two on Sunday mornings. The Michigan Wing Civil Air Patrol is now requesting help from the public as it searches for the aircraft and the pilot. It says the plane is a small home-built airframe with a polished aluminum exterior and tail number N569SX. Martin was the only person on board. Witnesses reported seeing the plane heading north soon after takeoff, and CAP aircrew and ground teams are currently searching the areas north and northwest of Dowagiac. That includes areas around Benton Harbor and South Haven. Extended searches may include areas in the counties of Van Buren, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, Cass, Berrien, and Allegan. Anyone with information on the missing plane is asked to contact Civil Air Patrol. Andrew Green, WSJM News.
And the Southwest Michigan's Makers Trail Passport is now available for the year. WSJM's Andrew Green gave us some more information about that, and we will share that near the bottom of this hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, in the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
Scary story about the pilot and that small little plane.
It is. Apparently, he likes to fly every weekend.
Yeah,
as
like
we
every
heard.
Sunday he flies for a little
1 or
bit.
2 hours. But they put out pictures of the individual, pictures of the plane. They don't know his exact route, where he was going, but the weather apparently could hamper their efforts yesterday. So hopefully they can get some more search efforts done today.
Sure. Wow. Well, we'll catch you up on that and keep you in the know with everything that's going on in the news at WSJM.com. And we'll catch up with sports here in just a moment. First, let's find out what's happening with our friends at ABC.
A new COVID booster has been granted approval from the FDA. The Pfizer booster, designed to increase protection against the new COVID variant that seems to be spreading quickly. Here's ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
These vaccines can be specific in what they're targeting, but the immune response that they develop, or what we develop when we get these vaccines, is an imperfect beauty. And by that, I mean your immune response is imperfect in that it doesn't necessarily build a specific antibody directly toward that exact vaccine, but it builds a variety of antibodies, as your immune response does when you get a normal infection.
Google goes on trial today. The search engine giant being sued by the Department of Justice, who alleges Google has grown too big and is stifling competition. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arriving in Russia for a meeting with President Vladimir Putin. They are expected to support each other as tensions escalate with many Western nations. So far, 700 people are known to have died in widespread flooding in eastern Libya. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
Week 1 of the NFL season wrapping up last night on Monday Night Football had the New York Jets over the Buffalo Bills 22-16. The Jets winning on a 65-yard punt return from rookie Xavier Gibson. The big story of the game is the injury to Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who only played 4 snaps before missing the rest of the game with what's being called a left.
Good morning to those that are watching on our live stream at our Facebook page and our YouTube. We appreciate you watching. A scary story about the Dowagiac man and his small plane, homemade plane, quite small. The plane looks like a really fun little plane to be flying around, and he did it on a regular basis. So, I mean, it's not like he's inexperienced. It's just you're wondering where it might be, and I'm sure it's going to be hard to find because of the small size.
Well, right. And the pilot, 82 years old. Dowagiac police are asking for all sorts of help. A family member of Martin's waited for Martin to return home, but it was several hours into the expected flight time until they even knew he was missing. So understanding where exactly his plane may have landed or gone down is still unknown.
Yeah,
that's tough.
And then another thing still unknown that we've been talking about this morning was Aaron Rodgers and his debut of the New York Jets did not really go as planned. You know, on paper at first, everything sounded great. You know, it's New York Jets, Monday Night Football. It's 9/11, so a lot of people are going to be watching. A lot of emotions tied to that. And then the emotions shifted to, oh my gosh, what happened? Like a lot of the announcers said, the air went out of the building or went out of the stadium because it was probably just a collective sigh,
right?
Of
a gasp,
a gasp, where the people were just, because they still don't know. They did an X-ray of his ankle and said, well, the bone's not broken. But there's a good chance his Achilles might be torn, which he's 39 years old.
Which that's long in the tooth for the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was talking about retiring. And so this is one where it's like, you're saying if this is a season-ending injury, if you were Aaron Rodgers and you had another, because I believe he's on a 2-year contract, you got another year, you could rest this whole entire season, get your Achilles and everything else right. Do you go and make it another try next year? I mean, the team's still going to be good.
Yeah.
So I just don't know.
So Aaron Rodgers,
He'll be 40.
Let's say he's sidelined for a few games.
Yeah.
How are the Jets set up with their backup QB?
See, the reason they got him was because they weren't really sure about their QB. They had drafted him really high towards I think he was a first rounder, Zach Wilson, and he just has not really panned out for him all that well. But they thought maybe, okay, we bring Aaron Rodgers in, maybe we have a chance of winning. And if we don't, this is still a win for us because the mentorship that a Hall of Fame quarterback, future Hall of Fame quarterback can give. And, people consider Aaron Rodgers one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Having that mentorship and just that person that's shadowing that you can shadow and you can just and you already started to see a lot of that because, New York Jets had the Hard Knocks on HBO.
Yeah.
So you saw a lot of that, fun, playful mentorship, but he was really teaching him a lot of stuff. And it seemed to show in the preseason. And I mean, I guess it kind of showed last night too, because I think if this was the same, if Aaron Rodgers hadn't come to the New York Jets, they wouldn't have a game like they did yesterday because of the fight that Zach Wilson had. He was not going down when it came to that. If they were down by a little bit last year, he probably would have just given up and then the team would have beat them. But he kept chugging away, and so did the other teammates. And so it was one of those that they ended up getting in overtime. But yeah, if he's out for let's say half the season, or even say the whole season, and then they're like, okay, week 17 or right towards the end of the season, he can come back. Will they still be in the playoffs? Will they still have a shot? I don't know, because that division that they're in is really, really good, which includes the Buffalo Bills, who they played last night. So they get a win there. But I think you've got some other teams in there, I'm not sure if Cleveland's in there, but you've got New England, solid team, Baltimore, really good team. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, could they hang on and do it for a little while longer? Yet to be seen. But they looked all right. I mean, they got some talent, because that's what they did. That was that $35 million that Aaron Rodgers gave back to them after they give him a huge contract.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen them go out and get any big players or any more additions to the team. But we'll have to wait and see. Those of you that are watching us on our live stream, we also have a good conversation with our friends from United Way that's playing right now on WSJM. So yeah, we're in two places at once right now. But you're getting a behind the scenes conversation that no one else can see except you.
And I'm paying attention. I really am, even though it's sports ball.
Yeah. Because, it's just, it's team injuries. It's stuff like that happens. That doesn't happen. We were talking about this earlier. This doesn't happen in everyday life.
No.
You don't have a coworker. They're like, yeah, they're down. They're on the physically unable to perform list. So you got to pick up some slack on this project.
I mean, sometimes that happens.
Sometimes
but
you
they don't
have
hold
somebody.
a press conference.
Yeah, they don't hold a press conference. Yeah, every once in a while you have somebody that has like a knee injury or something, and maybe they have to work from home or do something that disrupts your everyday workload. But not so much. The press conference, I think, needs to happen.
Yeah,
just every day at the end of the day, you just you sit. Yeah, you punch out, and it's like, well, think we had a good day
It was
today.
a solid day.
Solid day at work. Lunch didn't really go as planned. The turkey sandwich was all right, but I forgot the mayo. So just the little things.
Yeah.
Little things that we need to catch up on.
That kind of happened yesterday as I was in the middle of eating my lunch and something else happened.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, got to put my lunch aside.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was going to put that in the press conference. Decided not to.
Did you watch the film afterwards?
I did watch the film. How did that happen? How was the opponent able to derail my lunch?
That'd be another thing. It's like, all right, you're gonna go back and watch the film of how you performed at work that
We
day.
actually do that. We have air checks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that for people that do talk on the radio. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like sports where you go back to the tape.
Yeah.
Which we don't tape anything anymore. Which that's another thing.
What's that?
As you are looking behind the scenes, you're seeing that we don't have records stacked up anywhere.
Oh.
We're not playing CDs.
Did they move those?
People, I don't know why, but that anytime I have conversations with people, say, "Yeah, I'm on the radio." They're like, "Oh, cool. What song do you play when you have to go to the bathroom?" Like,
have you got that? That's
guys?
funny.
This is not 1985 anymore. We're not playing records or carts or things like that. No,
funny.
it's all digital, man. But yeah, no, still people would ask me that especially when I was on the rock station, like, "Oh yeah, I heard you play Stairway to Heaven. Definitely had to go to the bathroom there, didn't you?" Or Foghat.
Oh yeah, or the Inagata Davida, the 17-minute version.
Yeah, or the American Pie, the long version. That's like, I don't know, what's that, like 12 minutes?
I don't know.
Or
It just keeps
something
going
crazy.
and going and going and going.
Yeah,
But,
Stairway to Heaven though, great song.
Oh yeah,
wasn't even planned to be a hit. That was
right?
like a B-side, I think.
Oh dear.
Or it was either a B-side or it was a hidden track.
Wow.
Stairway to Heaven was.
Huh.
And that ended up being Zeppelin's one of their biggest songs.
It's good stuff.
So there you go.
It's good stuff.
You're a record guy, right?
I do like collecting the vinyl.
What's
yeah.
your latest vinyl purchase?
What did I get? I feel like I got something. It was a jazz album. I feel like it was a jazz album.
Yes.
The fun thing is that there are a lot of reissues, and it feels like Record Store Day is every other month now.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a once-a-year deal. Everyone was trying to revive it. Now they do the Record Store Day more often. But a lot of the recordings are still around, and they are on analog tape.
Yep.
And they remaster them because recordings are recorded in a number of different tracks, and they can go through and remaster individually each and every piece, make it sound better, mix it better, replace it if necessary. Ozzy Osbourne had a replacement on his Diary of a Madman remastering track where he and Sharon were infamous for saying, yeah, the drummer was horrible on that, couldn't keep time, so they replaced him rather than pay him money to have it re-released.
Could you imagine being that guy that was the drummer on that album? And you're probably getting residual checks for all the music, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, honey, that check come in?" No,
it was a good news, bad news thing. It's like, hey, they're re-releasing Diary of a Madman,
and then
but
30
you're not
years
on
later
it.
they said, yeah, the drummer not so good. That's like when they and I still to this day hate it when in Star Wars, they did all of the changes, and George Lucas did all this stuff. But the biggest change that I'm upset about is the fact that they had the after Darth Vader dies and the end of Return of the Jedi, spoiler alert, as he died, they had the ghosts of them or whatever, the Force ghosts. They replaced the actor. With the guy that played him in the 1, 2, and 3, the Hayden Christensen guy. They replaced him. So that actor that had spent 30 years probably as that person, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're replacing you for a scene that is. And it was like, why did you even waste your time doing that? Because it was a scene that lasted all of about 5 seconds.
Oh dear.
And there wasn't like he was talking or anything like that.
Wow.
So it made no sense that they made that change. So
yeah, no, you're making me think about all the stuff that isn't getting filmed right now.
Right.
Because the actor strike is still going on.
Yeah, that's still going on for a while.
I did see some of the some of the daytime talk shows are now breaking ranks
Mm.
and saying they want to produce it.
Oh,
Yeah,
let's
they
talk
want-
about that a
they
little
want-
bit later.
Yeah, we should.
We got the Bloomberg Market Minute going on right now, and we'll
Let's tune into
get back to the share.
Areas. Coca-Cola will continue to be a staple at Burger King, Popeyes, Firehouse Subs, and Tim Hortons. Restaurant Brands International has renewed its contract with the soda company until 2033. And the folks at Gatorade have a new drink coming out next year, bottled water. Nothing special, just filtered, unflavored Gatorade brand water. I'm Lisa Mateo, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Do we really need that?
What's that?
Do we really need Gatorade branded water?
No.
I don't think that's necessary.
No, because they put something else in it, right?
Right. So you're telling me it's just water?
Well, then why do we need it?
Yeah. If it's just water, why do we need it? If it's got electrolytes and all that stuff, oh, okay, maybe.
Can we just bottle something and just label it tap?
Maybe.
Tap water.
Yeah, like where'd you get that water? Oh, it's from the springs of my kitchen sink.
Fresh from the springs.
Fresh from the springs. Yeah, I think that Gatorade's they're one of those brands that's just getting too many. There's too many things.
Yeah.
I remember back in my day.
Oh boy.
I remember when there was one flavor of Gatorade. It was lemon lime, which to me is still the
That's
best.
the green, right?
That's the yellowish green
Yeah.
one, which they had that, and the bottles used to be made of glass,
That's right. They did.
which
They were.
I don't know why they made that choice. Obviously, it's probably whatever they wanted, whatever they had at the time, but it just seems so odd as a sports drink to be like, hey guys, here's a bottle of glass. A glass bottle. Could you imagine, like, these days, like tossing somebody a Gatorade and then
Hey, thanks.
watching for the glass to break? Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they came out with another couple other kinds. It was like Fast Twitch is another one that's like an energy drink. Yeah.
Fast Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like energy drink. It's like tons of caffeine.
Oh.
Then you throw in the
Then you start
electrolytes as
twitching.
well, and you get all that stuff. And really, another public service announcement is usually when you want to drink a Gatorade, Gatorade's not really for somebody just having a regular drink. This is something for like athletes when you need to get electrolytes back into your body. Just because you like mowed the lawn doesn't mean you need Gatorade. I mean, I will say I did have some Gatorade yesterday. What did I do? Just went to the grocery store and back.
And you needed electrolyte replenishment from that?
Man, electrolyte replacement, and more of just that replacement of the fact that I had to be around a lot of people.
What kind was it?
It's just the classic lemon lime.
Oh, okay.
But I've got the powder. I've got the big thing of powder.
You mix your own.
And I mix my own. Yeah. It's
Okay.
my own blend.
Will you use Gatorade water to mix your Gatorade from now on?
Probably. Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. It is Tuesday, September 12th. Today we're dealing with some clouds this morning. 40% chance for some rain. A high of 67 later on tonight. We're looking at a small bit of rain as well with a low down to 47. So yeah, you might need your umbrella. Tomorrow we might actually see the sun.
Oh, nice.
But it's still going to be a little chilly.
Okay.
High of only 67. But we got a lot going on this morning. We're actually early today.
Oh.
We have an early show.
Okay.
But we still do have a lot of things going on. Let's find out first what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And in the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Some of the stories that we're following this morning: State Representative Joey Andrews in town yesterday collecting information from Southwest Michigan manufacturers on how the state could help them thrive. He took a tour of Edgewater Automation in St. Joseph to talk up the governor's Make It in Michigan initiative. We'll let you know what he found out. Set for this Friday at Benton Harbor High School will be an event to honor the fathers who make a difference in the lives of children in the community. Present Pillars will have a halftime show. All fathers and father types are invited to attend. We'll give you more information on that one. And one we promised you this hour was the Southwest Michigan Makers Trail Passport. that is now available for the year. The Southwestern Michigan Tourist Council says the passport is a way to sample beers made from all over the region while earning some rewards. Now, the council has launched a new app to make the passport process digital. They launched it last year. They say they've improved it a little bit. They've updated it this year so it's more efficient for the 23-24 season. The Maker's Trail Flight Crew Passport is now available on the Visit Southwest Michigan app. The app automatically tallies each access code and tracks levels for the user. So I guess you can become like a super user if you visit enough Makers areas. Because of the reception last year, the Makers Trail will be fully virtual, no paper passports for the first time. Printed Makers Trail maps are available at the council's information center or participating hotels and Maker Trail locations.
I like that idea of making it digital because when they first came out with it a few years ago, I would get the passport.
Yeah.
I would get it stamped, and then I'd go to the next place later on, like a week later, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, you got your passport? We'll give you a little stamp."
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot it. Can you just give me a stamp on this new one? And so I had like probably 3 or 4 of those passports that had like 1 or 2 stamps in it.
Couldn't consolidate.
So yeah, couldn't consolidate it. Always forgot about it. Didn't have it in my wallet or my back pocket when I would go to these places. So making it digital, great idea. I love the prizes.
Yeah.
You see, there's like a sweater, a really cool hoodie. There's
T-shirts.
There's a Maker's Trail, like big old Yeti.
The jug thing?
Like a jug. Maybe
What do
not
they
the
call it?
jug.
Okay.
But it's like, it's good size. It's bigger than like your coffee cup.
So is it a tumbler or is it the growler?
I think it's like basically like a big growler thing.
Those are
You have
fun.
to check it out.
Those are fun.
I did download the app.
How many makers have you experienced in a season?
In a season?
Yeah. A dozen, more or
At
less?
least a dozen.
Okay.
Probably a dozen.
Did you know there are more than 40 Makers Trail locations for this passport season?
Whoa.
40 locations.
I know they keep adding them, which is great.
Yeah.
And I encourage people to visit those makers because it's cool to experience a lot of that stuff, especially like the wineries.
Oh yeah.
And then the breweries around here are fantastic.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to try any of those, and we're getting more and more distilleries popping up, that's also nice to see.
It's very nice.
So something for everybody.
Yeah.
So go check out these stories and more at WSJM.com. Let's find out what else is happening in the news from our friends, the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. Mel Tucker has come out swinging against the sexual harassment allegations he faces. In a statement, the suspended head coach at MSU calls them completely false, adding that he can only conclude that there's an ulterior motive designed to terminate his contract. Rape survivor and sexual assault prevention advocate Brenda Tracy, who Tucker is accused of harassing, responded to his statement, saying Tucker is trying to stop the investigative process and is victim blaming. Updating the UAW's contract talks with the Big Three, Stellantis says it's been a really good week at the bargaining table. The company describes the talks as having good energy among both teams and great momentum to reach an agreement, heading into the final days before the contract expires Thursday night. Stellantis also says the two sides have reached tentative agreements in several important areas, including health and safety. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If you or someone you love are dealing with blood cancer, the Blood Cancer Foundation of Michigan is here to help ease the burden. We are a charitable organization, which means our comprehensive support services are available to all Michigan residents at no cost. Yes, blood cancer is a challenge, but you don't have to face it alone. Find out how the Blood Cancer Foundation of Michigan can help by visiting us at bloodcancerfoundationmi.org.
A new COVID booster has been granted approval from the FDA. The Pfizer booster, designed to increase protection against the new COVID variant that seems to be spreading quickly. Here's ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton.
These vaccines can be specific in what they're targeting, but the immune response that they develop or what we develop when we get these vaccines is an imperfect beauty. And by that, I mean your immune response is imperfect in that it doesn't necessarily build a specific antibody directly toward that exact vaccine, but it builds a variety of antibodies as your immune response does when you get a normal infection.
Google goes on trial today. The search engine giant being sued by the Department of Justice, who alleges Google has grown too big and is stifling competition. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arriving in Russia for a meeting with President Vladimir Putin. They are expected to support each other as tensions escalate with many Western nations. So far, 700 people are known to have died in widespread flooding in eastern Libya. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
If there's any group of NFL fans that have talked more in the offseason than Lions and Bears fans, it's been fans of the New York Jets. But like the Bears fans, the Jets fans are probably going to be a little more quiet after last night. Sure, the Jets did beat Buffalo 22-16 on Monday Night Football last night in overtime on a 65-yard punt return touchdown from rookie Xavier Gibson, but the big news is what happened on the Jets' first offensive series. On the Jets' fourth snap of offense, quarterback Aaron Rodgers was sacked by Buffalo's Leonard Floyd. And after the hit, Rodgers couldn't get back up after sustaining an injury to his Achilles tendon in his left knee. Rodgers was helped off the field and then carted to the locker room wearing a walking boot. Rodgers will have an MRI today. To baseball, where the Cubs were out in Colorado to open up a series with the Rockies. Yan Gomes had a 2-run single in the top of the ninth inning, and the Cubs held on for a 5-4 win in Denver. The Cubs and Rockies meet again tonight at 8:40. The White Sox and Royals were rained out last night in Chicago. No kidding. They'll play a straight doubleheader today, starting at 4:40. The Tigers had Monday off. Detroit begins a 3-game series with the Cincinnati Reds tonight at 6:40 at Comerica Park. A 6:15 pregame show on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM. Suspended Michigan State coach Mel Tucker is calling the allegations of sexual harassment against him are completely false. And he says the intimate phone call he had with activist and rape survivor Brenda Tracy was consensual and outside the scope of Title IX. Michigan State is home this Saturday to face 8th-ranked Washington. In junior college sports today in women's soccer, Lake Michigan College is on the road at Delta College at 4:30, and the LMC volleyball team is at Jackson College at 6:30. High school sports news, Lawton football coach Wade Waldrop has resigned as coach and as a teacher at Lawton High School. Made the announcement after Friday's game. Waldrop had a 41-7 record with the 10th-ranked Blue Devils. Offensive coordinator A.J. High will take over ahead of Lawton's game against South Haven on Friday night. Scores from last night in boys soccer. St. Joe and Battle Creek Lakeview played to a 1-1 draw. Michigan Lutheran over Buchanan 1-0. Brandywine over New Buffalo 7-2. Was Hopkins over Berrien Springs 10-2. Bridgman beat Delton Kellogg 4-2. Bangor blanked Cassopolis 7-0. Saugatuck over Watervliet 2-0. Hartford with a 7-0 win over Bloomingdale. Fenville over Holland Black River 2-1. Kalamazoo Hackett over Allegan 4-0. And Lawton beat Schoolcraft 8-0. In volleyball last night, Buchanan over Lakeshore 3-0, and Our Lady of the Lake over Brandywine 3-2. For the rest of the scores from last night and the schedules for today's games, check out this station's website. With your morning sports for Tuesday, September 12th, I'm Dave Wolf.
Are you looking to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than our friends at Laser Graphics. They specialize.
Hope everybody's having a great morning. We're having such a great morning. We've actually we have still a lot of show yet to do. We're usually when we do the show, we talk for so long and we end up running a little bit late.
Yeah.
We're actually running early this morning, so catching you up on
Do we need to
news
talk
and sports
more?
and all that. So we do need to talk more.
Oh, all right.
Not only on the live stream, but we need to talk more a little bit later on.
I can do that
in just a few minutes. Oh, I know you can.
I can do that.
I can certainly do the same. I will assist for sure. No, there's a lot of stuff to talk about this morning. Everything from sports to things going on in our community. Just a lot. Mm-hmm. There's always a lot. We always try to do some digging and try and find a lot of these things. But you've been doing some putting in some extra work with the news this morning.
Well, we're trying some new stuff.
Yeah,
I
like it.
Yeah, we're trying some new stuff. We had a news team member leave, and
Mhm.
we've been talking, you and I, since we started doing the show together, about how can we incorporate some more news aspects into it, and broaden some and
Mhm.
tighten some.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're playing with right now.
Yep, we're just playing around. That's what we do every day. And I'm all for it because I like evolving and messing around with stuff and
Tinkering.
I am a tinkerer. Always tinkering with stuff because you can never be perfect.
Did you see this come across from Las Vegas? Several major hotels in Las Vegas, including the Bellagio, were left with faulty door locks, inoperable slot machines, and other problems yesterday after they were hit with a cyber attack.
Wow.
When the cyber criminals start going after Vegas, there's going
Yeah.
to be blood.
Well, and that's when they get in is
Yeah.
the crazy part too, because I imagine they have ridiculous high security,
Right.
not only in person,
best
but
of the best.
on the cyber side of things, because there's a lot of money rolling around.
The FBI said that they're investigating the attack on the MGM Resorts International hotels, which happened early Monday. The company said it took prompt action to protect the systems and data, including shutting down certain systems. We saw that recently, where was it U of M had to shut down because they saw
a couple
security.
days before school started.
Their investigation is ongoing, and they're working diligently to determine the nature and scope of the matter. MGM said in a post on X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Company would not provide additional details of what was affected, but it did apparently disrupt several key hotel systems.
I did see that headline come across, and I thought, man, especially too with all the sports betting that's been going on too.
Right.
I was like, is that also going to affect the app, because they have an MGM?
That's
They have
right.
an MGM app.
They do.
And they do a lot of BetMGM. They do a lot with sports betting online and on apps. So, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going to the casino and then them just being like, "Hey, we can't take your money."
Yeah.
Because our systems are down. Really? Your systems are down? Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably could still play some table games, but a lot of that stuff can be run through digital stuff.
Yeah.
Everything from the accounting stuff that they do for all the dealers and things. So they probably shut down the whole thing.
Wonder if they got anything.
Yeah, that's a big question too. I mean, I've seen Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13
and 11 and a
and
half or whatever
they did it. They made an Ocean's 8.
Oh, that's what it was.
Was
Ocean's 8.
that was Ocean's 8 was the one where it was like, this is where when you get into the sequels of these franchises, and anybody that likes the Fast and Furious movies knows,
goodness,
you get a little too many of them.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we're going to do Ocean's 8. And it's like, oh, does that mean it's going to be George Clooney and Brad Pitt and like a little less? They're like, no, other big actors, but we're going to have like Sandra Bullock and all that. And it's like, well, who the heck is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she's the cousin. And it's like, really? The cousin? You're going that far?
Yeah.
It's like Supergirl and all those characters.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Jumping the shark.
Yeah, I would definitely call that jumping the shark.
Did you so we were talking about the new COVID booster
Mhm.
vaccine that's probably going to be approved by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention later today.
Mhm.
It's already been approved by the FDA, so look for that to be coming out soon to
Okay.
a pharmacy near you. But Threads, the competitor
Mhm.
to X,
Mhm.
do we have
Yeah,
time?
let's talk about that on the air
Okay.
as well.
All right.
A little tease for you, a little Ryan Seacrest for you.
We may see a little bit of clearing late today, but it's going to be a cool day. We're going to top out only in the mid and upper 60s. Partly cloudy tonight. We'll see a slight chance of a shower, but otherwise we drop down to 47. And then for tomorrow, a chance of rain showers in the morning, sun in the afternoon, high temperature still in the mid and upper 60s. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. You can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com, and we can talk on our Facebook and YouTube. We're live streaming right now, and the reason you want to watch that is you get a lot of behind-the-scenes look at this fine award-winning program. You also have a chance to see what we do in between things. And also, we have a lot of conversations about stuff that you may not hear anywhere else. So exclusive content, I think, is what they say.
Always offering you more.
But we were just talking about this a little bit ago about we talked a little bit about cyber attack with MGM and their casino organization having a cyber scare.
Yep.
Not sure if the cyber attackers got anything. But another cyber related thing is something you noticed about the new, what we'll call Twitter 2.0, which is Instagram's Threads.
Right. So Threads was unveiled to much, heralding of being the prime competitor to Twitter at the time. Twitter has since changed to X. Threads has since done some kind of goofy things.
Yeah.
And one of those is they are deploying a search blocker. And
search blocker.
And so some journalists were trying to search Threads for COVID information. What was being said about COVID? Because, you can search the Twitter or you can search Facebook or any of the other social medias. You can see what's trending and find out what's being said about it and kind of get a temperature of the debate, the discourse that's going on. But if you try to search COVID on Threads right now, you get a blank message.
So it just says like search results not found kind of thing when you're searching.
Well, it does one better. It says go to the CDC website to see what it is. Here it says looking for coronavirus information, see the latest information from the Centers for Disease Control. Go to the websites.
So it won't even get because usually when you're looking on X or Facebook or anything like that, and you happen to search something, usually it says here's some related posts or some other conversations that people are using that either that hashtag or these most used conversations with that.
Yeah.
But it's just saying we don't have anything here. Go look somewhere else.
Now, Meta has acknowledged in a statement to the Washington Post, who inquired about this, that Threads is intentionally blocking the search terms that they asked about and said other terms are being blocked, but the company declined to provide a list or full reasoning. They're just saying that we're just not providing those results for potentially sensitive content.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe they just don't want to be part of the disinformation campaign. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe it's because of the other side, Twitter, basically letting you do and say whatever you want since Elon Musk took over. So maybe they're saying, okay, well, we want to be better. We want to be different. We're Twitter 2.0 since really Threads is like the spite. They're doing it out of spite.
It's spite software.
Yeah, it's spite software. If you're Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, Larry David had a spite store. It was like a coffee shop, and he opened it right next to another coffee shop. Because these are just guys that also used to work at Twitter, and were programmers, and they said, "Yeah, we're going to go work for Meta." And Zuckerberg's like, "Hey, how about we just use all that stuff that you guys were working on with Twitter?" And we'll just rebrand it and call it something else.
Well, it's not the same. We have 141 characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is.
Exactly. Speaking of Google searches, I was just reading this too about the apparently the Justice Department and some states think that Google has kind of become sort of the mafia of the internet.
Oh yeah.
They're dragging Google into the court this week. They're being sued for abusing their power as the search engine to score sweet deals with phone companies and keep other search engines from even competing. Now, Google says their business practices are legit. But, really, what other search engines are out there? You have Bing, but that really hasn't done anything. Yahoo hasn't really done anything. Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Well, and what the Justice Department has said in their complaint is that over the last 15 years, Google has done this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine search engine that's been building information and doing what it's been doing for the last 15 years? I mean, that is just everywhere.
Yeah.
Every time I look on Google right now, it's asking me if I want to hum a few bars to get a song match. Have you seen this? It's got the little weird digital sphere.
I have heard of that.
Yeah. I don't know
Does
why.
Does that work?
I have not
We'll have
used it.
we'll have to try it out.
Yeah.
We'll have to try it out.
But yeah, so the Justice Department saying that Google is being anti-competitive and exclusionary, and basically you got to pay to make it on that platform.
I mean, they've built an empire with Google, and I mean, when your company or your act of doing something has become a verb in everyday life, where it's like, well, I need to Google it. I need to Google it. I need to Google it. It's like Kleenex.
Yeah.
You don't say, I need some tissue for my nose, even if it's an off brand. You call it Kleenex. So their brand has just taken over. So even if they do try to push them down and say, okay, you guys gotta let the other ones come up and play, Google's still gonna win.
As long as making sure that there's a fair playing field,
sure,
all for it. But at the same time, making sure that those who are standing in judgment, the
Mhm.
group of your peers, making sure they understand technology, where it's going, how it works, I think is important when they start arguing these kinds of things. Because if you remember when Microsoft first had
Mhm.
its Windows antitrust lawsuit,
Yep.
it's like, well, every operating system comes bundled with an internet browser. How crazy is that?
Mhm.
It's like, well, what good is a computer without internet browsing these days? It
Right.
has to have one, and you can download any number of browsers.
And there weren't really any other operating systems that came
weren't.
out there.
No, there were no operating systems. You had some browsers like
Yeah.
Netscape and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And Microsoft finally relented and said, yeah, you can
Put
package
whatever
those
else
too.
on there. Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, I just hope they understand the technology so it doesn't do some goofy things and slow us down.
Mm-hmm. And then you got all the other. Then that's going to make room for all the AI stuff to
AI
jump
is
up.
already they're in the wings waiting.
Well, what about equal time for other things when it comes to fall like things?
Okay.
Everything seems to be pumpkin spice these days. But
Oh,
it
no.
sounds
Now
like
what?
there's another chance for another spicy smell.
Oh.
And that is the smell of apples.
Hmm.
And I think for Southwest Michigan and us Michiganders, I'm getting one of those like, back in my day thing, and I
Oh,
guess
no.
I'm getting older, longer in the tooth. But anyways, the smell of apples may soon be replacing pumpkin spice as the most popular scent of the fall season.
What does that smell like?
Well, you think about
Like
your
warm
your
apple
hot,
cider
little
type?
hot toddy,
Oh,
little
okay.
warm apple cider, maybe a spiced donut.
Oh yeah, it's getting to that that's the season.
Yeah. So
Spiced cake donuts. Oh, so good.
this survey by Modern Retail says that they've been tracking group sites of pumpkin fatigue,
Hmm.
and as one of the reasons that why many brands are seeking apple-scented alternatives. Bath and Body Works released 35 fall scents this year,
Hmm.
including Honey Crisp Apple.
That does sound
Get
good.
this, pumpkin apple
Oh,
and champagne apple and honey, which that sounds delicious.
pumpkin apple.
Don't eat the lotion. Not
No.
a good idea, but it's
No.
probably smells so good that you want to eat it.
Pumpkin apple.
Pumpkin apple, which you're seeing more because you see the pumpkin spice latte, the PSL. Everybody always has that, but I have seen some places come out with apple lattes. I have not had an apple latte. I don't know how it's made. If it's like a little bit of cider tossed in there along with your coffee and then the milk. I'm not really sure.
My son showed me the other day a latte,
Mhm.
and one of the ingredients was mint.
Oh.
Yeah, they muddled mint before they strained it into the milk, before they frothed it, and made a mint
Wow.
latte. Because and Stephanie pointed out chocolate, like a latte,
Mhm.
sometimes tastes like chocolate.
Sure.
So chocolate mint, popular,
Makes
peppermint
sense.
patties, that kind of stuff. Would you try that?
I would.
A mint latte?
A
I mean,
mint
it has
latte.
a weird color to it.
Yeah, I mean, you have the peppermint mocha,
Okay.
so it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's like a Christmassy thing or a fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I would I think that would be refreshing because you have the mojito,
Oh yeah.
which is a nice refreshing drink.
the muddling. Yeah.
So I think it could work. What do you think? Feel free to comment on our Facebook page, on our YouTube, and tell us what you have to say about either the pumpkin spice or apple spice. I don't know. I want some cider donuts. I can't wait to get some of those.
Those sound good.
But we still have a lot to get to here on the show. You know how we said earlier we were running we're early?
Yeah.
We've talked a lot, so I think we're back on time.
Are we
now.
back on track
I think
now?
we're back
let's
on
talk
track.
some more and get off track.
Well, we could if you want. Do you want to throw something else in there?
Well, let's see. That thing. Oh, what about the campers?
Oh, yeah. Tell me about the camper bandit.
Up in Van Buren County. It astonishes me in this day and age that you can't find somebody who stole a camper, because it seems like campers are pretty big things.
It is.
But Van Buren County Sheriff's Department is still looking for 2 suspects who it says stole a camper and a lawnmower this weekend. The department says deputies were called to the 64,000 block of 77th Avenue in Keeler Township around 10 a.m. on Sunday on a report of the thefts. Taken a 30-foot Cherokee camper and a walk-behind lawnmower. Deputies were told by a witness the suspects were in the 80,000 block of 62nd Street. They had seen them there with the stolen items, but when the law enforcement got there, they found that the suspects had crashed their vehicle, a Dodge Ram 1500, into a ditch, and then fled in the truck still with the camper attached before deputies arrived. The suspects remain at large. The camper is still missing. Don't know if they got the lawnmower back, but anyone with information on that is encouraged to call the Van Buren County Sheriff's Department. I joke a little bit about not being able to find a camper, but these guys crashed.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
They still hauled off.
I mean, that was a walk behind?
Yeah, a walk behind.
Oh, man.
Lawnmower, that thing's gone.
Wouldn't that have been a cool chase to watch? I would love to.
Running with a lawnmower.
I wish it was a riding lawnmower. It's like, oh, man, it only goes up to rabbit. This rabbit doesn't go fast enough.
Only you could get the governor off it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just switch it down to turtle. Because I don't know if you're riding lawnmowers like that. A lot of them will have the turtle or the rabbit.
Yeah, it's universal.
Yeah. But yeah, trying to go to rabbit mode with that thing. Or what would have been even better is if it was a walk behind self-propelled.
Yeah.
And the person was on like roller skates. That would be a sight to see on Cops. Man, darn. Yeah. We'll have to reenact that maybe.
Yes.
But other news and things, you can always check out WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Here in just a little bit, we're going to tell you about some of the business news happening in our community with your Moody on the Market update. That's all next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Hi, I'm Zach East, Vice President of Business Development here at Midwest Family, and I want to invite you to our final free marketing seminar opportunity of the year in partnership with the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber. But it's only...
We're popping back here for a second.
So all I could think of when you were talking about the cops chasing the riding lawnmower, it's only a matter of time before someone like an Elon Musk gets a lawnmower with all the additional rental options.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because his Tesla car, you have subscription-based things to get
options.
certain stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, you have your lawnmower, and they should be self-driving by now.
Right.
I don't know why they haven't focused on that. Because, I mean, your lawn stays pretty much the same year after year. Maybe the trees get a little bigger. Can't they program a lawnmower to do it for you?
They have the lawn mowing robots. You haven't seen the lawn mowing robots?
I've seen Roomba, that is the robot vacuum cleaner.
They make a lawnmower just like it.
And it goes right through your whole lawn?
Your whole lawn.
Really?
Yep.
Does it do it at 6 a.m. to torque my neighbors?
I think you time it with like your regular afternoon, but that would be pretty great if you could say like, 6 a.m. I want you to just.
Is it electric?
Yeah.
I have to look this thing
and
up.
It's got like a little docking system, and I think that you can have in your garage, and it will.
Does it empty the grass blades for you? Or is
that I don't know.
Out?
It might just shoot it out like a push mower, but they're pretty cool. I've not seen one in person, but I've watched videos of it, and it seems to work just like the Roomba. Where it kind of maps out, and it's got a bunch of cameras and sensors around the mower to figure out where it's at.
I still remember the first time I operated a riding lawnmower, a lawn tractor. I ran over a sapling.
Ooh. Yeah. Not good.
Naloxone saves lives. Learn more at cdc.gov/stop overdose.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, you can find it at moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app, always keeping you in the know with everything going on in our community. And your Moody on the Market update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we're heading to the Ghost Light to watch some films.
That's right. The 26th annual Manhattan Short Film Festival returns Saturday, September 30th, and it's going to be at the Ghost Light Theater in Benton Harbor. The Manhattan Short Film Festival has carefully curated 10 short films from hundreds of submissions worldwide to create a riveting 120-minute experience. All 10 films are qualified to enter the Oscars of 2024.
Now, the Manhattan Short is screened in over 500 venues all over the world. One of those venues is the Arena Cine Lounge in Hollywood. And this specific screening qualifies each of the selected short films for consideration for the 2024 Academy Awards. At the conclusion of the screening, each audience member will complete a voting card, making their choice of the best film and actor. Ghost Light's votes, along with the votes of the hundreds of other theaters participating in the festival, those are going to be sent to Manhattan Short headquarters, and the winners will be announced on the manhattanshort.com website on Monday, October 9th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the directors and actors await their decision.
Saturday, September 30th. Tickets for the Manhattan Short Film Festival are $15. Tickets are limited to the first 100 patrons. Doors open at 7. Films begin at 7:30. And yes, they will have beer and wine available for purchase.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a chance to talk with the folks from the Manhattan Short, and it's a great thing that they've set up, and it's continued to grow over the years.
Okay.
Into this massive worldwide thing, and to have Southwest Michigan participating in it is pretty cool.
Nice.
So yeah, check that out.
Very nice.
At moodyonthemarket.com and the Moody on the Market app. And also another thing you can check out there is the Moody on the Move series, where Pat Moody's hanging out with the folks from, speaking of ghosts, they're at Niles Scream Park and talking with the folks there as they get ready for their 50th season. And our awards program is pretty great as well. We just recently announced you can now make nominations for Bold Women of Business. All that's at moodyonthemarket.com and the app. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll catch you up with news, sports, and a whole lot more next.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance.
Did you have a chance to check out the Roomba lawnmower yet?
Let me look here. What is it? What would I search here?
I would go lawnmower robot.
Okay. Oh, look at that. You can get it on Amazon. Oh, there they are. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I've seen those.
And
Okay.
I will say,
Yeah.
not that expensive.
No.
When you look at it, you can get one, as low as, I see one here refurbished just from the quick Google search.
Yeah.
Like $400. Yeah, you can go pay probably close to like $1,000 or a couple thousand on it.
Yeah. Here's one. What is this one? $1,170 from Works. WORX. There's that one. You can get that one on Amazon.
That sounds fancy.
Owlmo. Yeah, these all they don't look as impressive as I want them to look.
Yeah. What do you want your
I want it to
robot
be like a
lawnmower to
little
look
tank, like a little Sherman tank with something to chase the dogs and squirrels off the lawn while I'm mowing.
See, I want like a little man that's mowing my lawn.
Just a happy little guy with a red
Just
cap.
a happy little
Yeah.
guy with a red cap, that every once in a while will wave to the neighbors.
Shake its finger at the kids going by.
Shake its finger at the kids, yell at the dog every once in a while if the dog's getting too close to the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Just, the basic stuff.
I want it to empty the grass clippings because you gotta collect those so you don't suffocate your grass, and then do the edging as well.
See, I haven't seen one if they have like a bag attachment or some sort of thing to hold. Yeah, because you're right about you don't want it to just if it mulches it. Sometimes that's okay, but depending on the height of the grass, it sometimes gets a little messy.
Yeah.
So yeah, You have to check out the robot vacuum, or just mow your lawn. Unless you got a big lawn. If I had a really big yard, I would definitely consider a robot lawnmower.
Makes sense.
Because even when you do a riding lawnmower, if you've got a big lawn, you're still out there for at least an hour.
Oh, 3 hours. I mean, some of those lawns that are so huge, and I hate to keep going back to the clippings, but that's emptying the bag. That's what takes the most time.
Yep.
Takes the most time.
See, I grew up in the middle of
you just shoot them out.
Yeah, we lived on a 50-acre farm, and so when we were mowing the lawn, they would go all over the place. We had vineyards on one side and orchards on the other, so it's like, this is just mulch. It's become mulch now.
Well, but the grass piles are great compost. They heat up, and snow never sticks to them in the wintertime. It's great.
So
good worms.
We're running out of lawn mowing weather though. It's getting chilly. I think there's only a few more mows left.
Yeah. Ooh, I think I see some sunshine out there.
No way.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, we might have to go look at that. But thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us this morning. We had some good chats, covered just about everything, just the whole gamut of things, from sports to lifestyle,
Vegas,
Las Vegas to things on the internet to lawnmowers. Look at that. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube if you'd like, so that you get and our Facebook page as well. That way you get notified when we go live tomorrow. But you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay.